Hi, this is Amy, and I want to talk to you today about Chromebooks for education and why I think this is a really good choice right now. So, first of all, using a Chromebook, you get access to Google Docs. The best way to go about this is actually to buy the Chromebooks from Google and have a Google Apps implementation. So just briefly, Google Apps is a suite of applications and then other applications not from Google that you can tie in with single sign-on. So the core of the Google Apps suite is Gmail, Docs, Calendar, Sites, Groups, and Video. And then you can add on other Google applications like Blogger, and then you can add on third-party applications like Aviary, EasyBib, and Weebly. So this is the Google Apps system for my workplace. This is kind of our portal page, and it's my suggestion to everybody who wants to sign up for Google Apps that they actually create a page like this, and I would be glad to help you do that and give you the materials that I use to create this page. So through your Google Apps implementation, you can use all of these tools on your Chromebooks. And in addition to that, you can actually manage your Chromebooks. So when you log into your Google Apps implementation and you go into manage this domain, you'll actually see inside your settings the Chrome OS, and then you can choose. So for example, if for your elementary school students you would like to have different settings, security settings or browser features or whatever, then you can set your school up like that and control what those students are able to see and what their experience is like on that Chromebook. For example, do you want them to go to this exact same thing, like maybe the teacher's homepage or the technology page or something like that when they go home? You can control all of that kind of stuff. You make the change one time in your management system, and that change is made on all of those Chromebooks the next time the students log in. So there are powerful management settings here, and it's not the kind of management that we have on the iPad, for example, where we've got to set each of those devices basically independently. There's no management console for that device. But I really think there's something a lot more powerful than that. When I buy technology, I want it to transform. I don't just want another piece of equipment in my classroom that we can use for a certain purpose. I want it to make a difference in how we're learning and to move us toward the standards that we're trying to reach, the kind of idealized goal in education. And in my opinion, that's in creation. I think that in order to learn, we should be creating. The traditional model is that the teacher creates materials and the students consume them, and we really want to move away from that and have students creating the materials and teachers being that guide on this side. So I love the Chromebook for Education because it works with Google Docs. So I'm going to really briefly, because I know it's probably not why you're here, but I just want to show you a little tiny bit about what this system is. I promise it won't be longer than 2 minutes. But so with Google Docs, we can create all of these types of products. We can have a presentation, a document. Now, this software costs your school district nothing. So if you want to create materials through a system like this on the iPad, you would be using Keynote and those types of tools. They're $10 each for each iPad. So don't be confused. I know that a lot of Apple sales reps in the past told you that you could download that once and put them on all your devices. If you're doing that, you're in violation of those terms of use. Absolutely. So that's definitely changed. But further, using the iPad, which don't get me wrong, I love the iPad, such a beautiful device, a wonderful device, but my students can't collaborate using those materials. So if I open up this document and then invite other people to join in on this document with me, then we can all work on it together at the same time. And this really moves us toward the kind of thinking and learning that we want to be doing in our classroom. So I can invite my friend Carrie to edit this with me. This will notify her via email, and we'll be able to actually type in this document at the same time. So that's powerful collaboration. We can do the same thing with all of the other products in this suite. And that's just not available through the iPad at this time. So you can also make things. So I talked a little bit before about how important I think it is for students to be constructing things. So using the Chromebook, students can make things like Prezis. So Prezi is a presentation tool that is very high level, because to make a Prezi, in my opinion, you're going to have to figure out some kind of metaphor. There's a lot more to think about here than just putting slides in some kind of a linear order. So, for example, this Prezi that I made about bringing your own device to school, the metaphor is actually uses the iPhone, the most popular phone, I guess, in history now. And so I thought I'd take advantage of that metaphor and make the different things that you can do with a student cell phone in the classroom into applications that are on sort of the home screen of the cell phone. Well, I think you would agree with me. It took a lot more effort for me to make this than it did a linear presentation where I just maybe showed screenshots of these different tools. So this kind of thing can be created on the Chromebook, and this software is free. So that's pretty powerful. More tools that we can use on the Chromebook that are not available. They're available on any computer, by the way. So this doesn't say that Chromebook implementation, that you can't do this with devices you already have. So of course, if you have laptops or desktops in your school district, you can do all of these things already. But if you're going to add more devices into your system, the management and operation of the Chromebooks is just much simpler and cheaper for total cost of ownership than adding, for example, notebook computers. So I can also create Google Sites. As I told you, that's part of the core suite. So I'm going to take you to a Google site and show you what that's like. This also is part of what satisfies our TEKs for our new TEKs that are happening in Texas right now, which relate to the ISTE nets, which have our students needing to understand and work with organizing, kind of like sorting and organizing information. I think this site's a great tool for that. So this is an example of a Google site for a training that we're having at the Region 6 Service Center this summer. And so here's some pages right over here with some embedded presentations, a group that people can apply to be a part of that's embedded in this page. That's another part of the Google Suite, is that group. So this is a website, and I can make it on the fly. I can edit it from anywhere. It's really a nice, very simple tool, but also very powerful for education. If I have a student who needs to show what he knows, create something in order to learn, then a Google site is a great way to do that. Wikis are also really popular. I personally have never been a giant fan of wikis. I think it's probably because I had Google Sites in my kind of toolkit already. But if you like wikis, or you have teachers who you think would get into that model, it's a wonderful tool for making and editing wikis. And the Aviary suite works on this device, which is a really cool set of tools. So I'd like to show it to you just really fast. So at aviary.com, you'll see the suite. So I actually ended up taking us to aviaryeducation.com. It's a better portal for us as educators to look. And you can see the different parts of the suite that you can get. So there's an image editor, a vector creator, an audio editor, and a music creator. So all of these tools work on the Chromebook and on any computer that you have in your school district. So I'm just going to play this for just a second for you so you can see kind of the level of tools that we're talking about here. So it probably looks like Photoshop to you if you've used that tool before. I'm sure it lacks some of the power of Photoshop. I don't know that tool well enough to say for sure. But just kind of imagine your students working on a project like this or making this. I think it's pretty phenomenal that can happen, all using the web, all using a machine like a Chromebook or a netbook or a laptop. I think screencasts are powerful. I don't know if you've seen mathtrain.tv before, but I know everybody's talking about Khan Academy. Even better, isn't it, for the students to be making the tutorials themselves? I saw Alan November speak summer before last, I think, and he told us about a little girl who calls herself Bob on mathtrain.tv. You probably, if you look through here at some of the student-made videos, you'll see some of Bob's work. And her student, the student Bob, her teacher gave her the option of doing her homework or of teaching other students to do the process that they were doing. And the example that he showed was actually a factor tree, creating a factor tree. And Bob elected to do the video versus the homework, even though doing the video, by her own admission, took many, many times longer than doing the homework would have taken, like maybe over 2 hours to do the video and, maybe 30 minutes to do the homework. And when her teacher asked her, why did you choose to do the mathtrain.tv video instead of the homework? It took you so much longer. She said, because when I did my homework, I didn't just help myself, I helped all my friends. And that's certainly how I feel. If I thought nobody would ever watch this video, I probably wouldn't still be making it. The motivation's just gone. So you can make screencast using the Chromebook, using the App Store. You can use tools like Screener to do that. So from a practical standpoint, the Chromebook is personalized, so I can log into it and I can see all of my apps that I've got installed and my extensions that I've got installed, and my theme and my email and all that kind of stuff. Yet it's not, because I can pick up any Chromebook and log into it and have all those same features. I get this by signing in to Chrome. So I'm signed in with one of my accounts. I can actually switch and sign in with another account and see a whole different set of bookmarks and materials and all those kind of things. So I can also sign in on any computer anywhere. So any computer that's got Chrome or that I can put Chrome on, I can get all of my bookmarks, all of my materials on that computer. And finally, it seems like such a little thing, but I really like that there's a keyboard and a trackpad. So I talked about how I love my iPad and I really love my iPhone, but there are some tasks I just would rather not try to tackle on those devices because I don't have a keyboard and a trackpad. They're wonderful for consumption. I love to read books on that iPad. I think it's a beautiful device for that. But as far as making a Prezi, well, first of all, it's not possible, but even if it were, I think it would be quite a bit more difficult than making one using a screen and a trackpad and a keyboard. I need to be able to type words easily. I need to be able to scroll around that in a very controlled way. So a lot of these tools just don't work yet on that device, which is, I think, inarguably mainly made for consumption. So I think there are a lot of very compelling arguments for the Chromebook in education right now, as opposed to a laptop, as opposed to an iPad. And I hope I've helped you make a decision. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to let me know. It's obviously a topic I love to talk about, and maybe you have some counter arguments that would convince me. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Make sure you post in the comments on the blog. I'd prefer it if you post on the blog. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's www.friedtechnology.com. Thanks a lot, and I hope this video helps somebody. Let me know.